Yeah, it's time for another episode of Better Than Wolves Minecraft with Karnak Sam. I am, of course, forever your host, Karnak Sam. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, getting on a bit later than usual. Had a long night at the office. You know, just coming home and relaxing. Gonna try my best to... Oh, look at that. Ooh, what a wonderful day we have tonight. Oh, oh. Well, didn't expect that. So, here we are. We find ourselves in Lucky Town. Alright, well, I think I will continue to mine just a little bit more. And then we're going to go back upstairs and look at what we're needing to build. And I believe that will be a mob trap. Fairly certain that what would do best for us right now would definitely be a mob trap. I had someone asking yesterday why I don't narrate every moment of my videos, and they were just asking, why are you talking? And I was too tired to talk about it, and honestly, I wasn't in a great mood yesterday, but I feel like I'd just be repeating myself over and over again, and as much as you guys may need something to listen to, unfortunately, I just can't seem to get my audio to select what is going to be streamed and what is not going to be streamed. I really, really don't like playing in silence, and I like to have music playing or a podcast playing or something, and it's it's one thing to narrate, but when you're against a completely silent backdrop, it's a little bit maddening. You start feeling the need to talk when you shouldn't feel the need to talk. Now, I've thought about finding some old type music, some classical music or something like that that has no um, um, copyright infringement issues or anything like that, so that it doesn't detect the audio and mute everything. That being said, I'm not really sure what to do anymore about that. All I do know is that these videos are basically for me to look back on, and if it entertains somebody else, well, heck, I'm glad to have you along for the ride by all means. But I'm not doing this for viewers, so I'm not really trying to, please anybody. What I would like is anybody who has any ideas on what I could do, audio-wise, whether I should just shut up and just have the game sounds playing, because I think I might be able to pull that off. But then again, I'm not really sure. As far as I can tell, it's all or nothing. So, here I am, yeah. I can't believe I found diamonds right off. That was a very good thing. Oh. You know what I think? I think I went the wrong way. Don't tell anybody. Let's see here. Okay, well this is... go this way. 16 gold, 14 iron, and 5 diamonds. That's not bad. It's not bad at all. You know what's really cool is my mushroom farm. I love this thing. I should also, just to make it completely safe, have an idea. I have a great idea. Wait, where the heck? Where the heck is it? Is it right here? Ah, here we go. Okay. You see how I can see in here now if there are any mobs? Wait, why is this open? This should not be open. Dude, we should not open this. There we go. Arr. That's better. Yeah, this is great. And I can turn this light out with the flip of a switch. That's fucking badass. That is Karnak Sam. Look at that. And I walk out, and now what I want to do is I want to put a piston door right here. And if I'd have thought about it in time, what I really should do, put like a double piston door there. Make one of them be glass, and the other one is made of cobble, so that, you know, the light will still be sealed, but like I can see without putting myself in danger. Now, let's go ahead and get some, we'll put up, ooh, what am I doing? Oh yes, we are gonna be making stone. Watch this shit. Watch how fast this stone makes now. That's badass. Yep, we're making stone. Which means we're going to be able to actually make some really nice stuff now. Also, we're going to continue making our food production. Because, let's be completely honest here, we have a lot of food, but having more food is always better. Whoops. God. You know what? I am going to take some of this. Let's see. What do I need to take? Got everything from there. Ah, there we go. Now, oh yeah, I need to put all these diamonds up. I'm so happy to finally have diamonds. You know, diamonds to spare. Are there any creepers anywhere? I don't see any. So let's go ahead. Go feed those guys. First of all, we'll feed these guys. Don't know how we got so few sheep. That's kind of worrisome. Oh man, and we lost the blue sheep. What happened to the blue sheep? Oh no, that's kind of bad. Not that I need a sheep of every color, but it would have been nice to have a blue sheep. Just saying. I love this this design for a farm here. It's very badass because you need to be able to jump up. You need to be able to get out of the pen. But the thing is, if you have what we have here, which is like a little stepping stone or a stepping clod of dirt or whatever you would call it, this right here is a problem because yeah, I can get out, But the thing is, like, there's literally nothing to stop these guys from getting in here and getting all upset. So that's not really great. Let's go ahead, get some more. Look at this. Oh, I love it. Take that down. It gives us our stepping stone because you can step on the piston and the animals cannot get in there. So it's really the best design I've come up with. And it just looks really neat and tidy and whatnot. Now, you know, we haven't been outside for very long, right? Well, we're gonna go ahead and get some more wheat. Remember where it is. Alright. Now look at this. Look how much stone is already made. We already have 20 pieces of stone. See, now we've got quite a bit of ability. Here we go. There we go. That should take care of that. Now let's go down. Oh, do we have any bone meal? We need to have bone meal. You know what I need to do? I need to make a more efficient grinder. Not worried about doing it right now, but after the mob trap, I definitely need to do that. Where am I putting everything? What am I doing? Okay. Oh yeah, bone meal. Again, my brain is not working very well today. Let's grind some bone meal. Well, we need to get our pumpkin production up because pretty soon I'm going to be ready to start making food automation. Like, pretty much my food is going to be automated completely. Oh, my animals, my world. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building my house up from over there. Like, my house is actually going to be built up, which will give me a great view of the surrounding area. And it's actually a really nice place we've got here. And as I clear more and more of the land out around here, I'm going to start lighting it up, which will force the funnel of zombies and mobs and whatnot into the oh, look what I can do. Can I feed them yet? Are they? No, they're not ready to mate yet. They're not in estrus yet. I don't know where I'm going to put my mob farm. I've got to figure out a way to do 4 different channels of water. That's going to be kind of difficult. I'm thinking I might see it though. I think I might understand what to do. Ooh, look at this. They're ready. Some of them are ready anyway. Yep. I got them just in time. They're actually just ready to start fucking. Yeah, these brothers are getting busy. Go ahead. White mixed with dark. Get that swirl going on. A happy planet is a gray planet. Oh, motherfucker. Oh, shit. Oh, man. Okay, look. I gotta go up here, and then I gotta... Nah, guy. You can't fucking go there. No, you can't. I don't want you to. Just fucking chill, man. Seriously. You ain't going nowhere. What I gotta do is, I want to automate my animals But to automate the animals, are they? Yeah. To automate the animals, I need leather. I need a lot of leather. I need leather and dung, but I mean, we got lots of dung, so that's not a problem. Oh, let's go scouting. Oh, look. Already got some melons growing. That's good. Huh. Yeah, that's real good. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. All this grass here, I don't want any of it. Now, I think there's a water source off over here. Yeah, there is, but it's pretty far away. Okay, water source right here. That would, I could possibly, I could make it, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll have two of the waterways coming like from one angle here and then another angle. And I'll have the second two sources of water. I believe there was a, yeah, there's a lake right here. Perfect. There's a tiny little lake. And the second one will be coming right over here and over there. It'll take some doing. It'll take a lot of doing. It might even take some pumps. But I can do it. The mob farm will be somewhere around right here, which will put it within my spawn, within spawn of my base, so it always be running. Yeah. Now let's go down in here and harvest all of these babies so we can get lots and lots of melons to grow. I was gonna use the bone meal on these melon plants. John Cougar melon plant. No, just ignore it. It's just about ready to harvest the whole thing. And you know what? Let me go ahead and get the pumpkin. An interesting thing about pumpkins. Let me show you. Let me kill that spider real quick because he's going to be aggro. Alright. Pumpkins. They've been changed in Better Than Wolves so that they're affected by fall. Now, they are also affected. They can be broken open by falling far enough. Now, the higher it is, the better the chance of it dropping and breaking open. This might not do it. No, it didn't do it. But it could possibly do it. It has a chance of breaking open. It didn't do it again. As you get higher and higher up, it has a greater and greater chance to break open. Still didn't do it. Probably not high enough. But if you get high enough on this thing and you break it, then you can, in fact, make them break automatically. And if they break automatically, then they become, I don't know if they become melon slices or if they just become melon seeds. I'm not 100% sure on that. But that's what's going to be feeding all of our chickens to make more chickens. The beautiful, tasty chickens. And the chickens are what is going to be making our wolves happy and fed. By the way, let's go ahead and get some dung. I love dung. You like dung? I like some dung. Who likes beans? I like beans. There is one option that I have, And it's not a good option. Let me just say that right now. Not a good option. So, the answer should be no. What I'm about to say, everybody in chat and everybody like in the entire world should unanimously say no, 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 just automatically. I make my own music. I actually do write, produce, and perform my own tunes. I have a act that I've been doing for about 20 years now, and I would be very happy to put some of this music up on the site for people to listen to. But honestly, like that would fix the copyright problem and all that. Problem is the answer should be no. You guys should not want to hear my music. It is terrible, terrible stuff. Absolutely horrendous stuff. So I'm glad you guys said no, because like let's face it, there's nothing worse than a musician who thinks he's a musician. So let me put all this meat back up. Really am a little bit upset that there's no real way to cut that. Huh. You know what? There may be a way to make that thing go off half and half. It just might be. Look, the signal's coming out of the back, right? And then it's either on or off, right? And when it's on, it does nothing, and when it's off, it sends the signal half and half. What I could do, I could set up a thing here where like it's already like on, it's set to the on position, so it's automatically sending a pulse. And then I could set a piston, a sticky piston, up there, and have the sticky piston have a non-conductive, like, have the sticky piston, I'd like to try it. I'd like to work around with that and see if it's possible. This is where I'd do it at, right down here. I would break this redstone wire going up the hill, and I would wait to fill that in. I would have the signal coming out here, and when it comes up here, I would have a piston that shoots out. Don't know. I would have to try it out and check it. Well, let's do that. Fuck it, we ain't got nothing else to do. It's nighttime. Okay, I need a sticky piston. Maybe 2 or 3. Fine, whatever. I will need a redstone torch. Do I not have any redstone torches? Huh, okay. I have to make some redstone torches. That's fine. I don't need anything else. Alright, now let's go ahead and put the dung in there so we don't have to worry about it. See how we don't even worry about coming out at night now? It's fairly safe, huh? Awesome. Now, I should really, really have a button to test this out with. That would be the best way for me to test it out. You know what? I don't even need to be on site to test this out. I can test it out anywhere. What if I have a button just sitting around? Oh, I do. Heck yeah. Alright. Let's test it out in here. Nope, these are all slabs. It's not gonna work. Oh, look at that. Little bastard. Little bastard. Alright. Alright. We're gonna have this block is going to be the input. And this is going to be a button with a redstone signal is going to be coming out and it's going to say on, okay? So I don't even know if that's something we need to worry about, but we're going to, because that's the way it was working in my mind. So now, go ahead and eat. And don't need to have a redstone signal coming out, but I'm going to. And gonna have sticky piston. Well, I could have just let it have that block. And whenever I hit this button, it's gonna come out. So I need a T flip-flop. See, this is the thing. I know there's a simpler way to do a T flip-flop. It has to be. I don't think there is. I think it's going to be the best thing to do for me to just go ahead and do this. Okay, that's going to go up here and feed him. But we don't want to have the chicken production, okay? So we are going to make this. We're going to take this out of the equation. The chicken farm is going to be fed as it always has been. From here. Boom. Okay, that takes care of that. Now, this is going to be the difficult part. It's going to be making this so that the wolf doesn't get fed the same instance, the same feeding time that he does. Okay, so I don't think that's going to crosstalk. We should find out though. I don't know if it's going to crosstalk or not. I could make it so it doesn't crosstalk, but I might be hitting the doggy pin. Let's find out. Nope, we can do it without it crosstalking. Okay, fantastic. Now we'll make ourselves our T flip-flop, and we'll make it over here. A T flip-flop is just gonna. I was thinking about it in my head, and I thought that I could do it simpler, but I really can't. It's gotta be a T flip-flop, and that's okay. I don't mind that. Now, T flip-flops are easy. Need to make a couple more redstones. Torches. Now, gonna need to dig this out a little bit. This is a really awesome contraption. It's probably the most awesome thing that you can make out of redstone, you know, other than, you know, awesome computers and shit like that. Well, whatever. The output's going to be right here, and it will not happen unless the block is hitting it, right? Okay, I got that. But every time that this pulse comes up here, it is also going to go into the back of the T flip-flop. Now, the thing about a T flip-flop is it inverts a redstone signal, which is a very powerful thing. If you want to have something like, say, a door that opens with a button push, you know, like if you have a button, look over here, look. Okay, a button sends a signal. of redstone, right? Like this. So like when you press it, it lights it up, and then it's off, right? So if you have a button to open a door, there we go. If you have a button to open a door, oh, this is all it's gonna do. Wait, hold on. Really? Huh. Hold on. Oh. Yes. Really? Huh. Doors no longer open with buttons? That's kind of weird. Okay. Look, I am only trying to show you something. That's all I'm trying to do. Maybe this will work. Huh. I will be dipped in damn. Maybe it's because the door wasn't on. What the fuck? Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay. So, okay, door. Button. Here we go. And this is just to show you guys, so I'm sorry this is taking so long. You have a button with a door. Oh, motherfucker, really? What the hell? Okay, this is really dumb. How is this not opening the door? This is odd. I thought that doors were opened by buttons. This isn't working, and I'm tired of doing it. Anyway, all it would do is send a pulse so that it would open the door and then close it, right? What you would want is an either-or switch. Well, a T-flip-flop does that, and it does it with in-game mechanics, which is the best part of it. Let's go ahead and wrap this around here. It goes into here. Ah, son of a bitch. I need more redstone. Fuck. This is so embarrassing. I'm supposed to be better than this. Does this open? Oh, what the hell? Buttons don't fucking open doors anymore. That's weird. Okay, we'll take the rest of this. Okay, now provided that there, oh motherfucker, really? I'm gonna need to have a redstone repeater to keep that crosstalk out. So I gotta go all the way out here again. Not that it's a difficult thing, but just for God's sakes, I'd just like just one time to have everything that I need. Alright, now. Motherfucker. Well, there goes my awesome entrance. You know what? It had it coming. We'll build a much more awesome entrance here in a minute. The question is, where did he come from? Because our creepers were not supposed to be spawning anymore. Alright, now, interest right here. Now, we will put our redstone repeater right here. There we go. And now we shall allow this sucker. Oh, come on. Oh yeah. Okay. Now, here we go. To make a T flip-flop, what you do is you put the pistons with redstone right here, so they're turning on and off when they receive a signal. Then you place this on the top, and when it receives a redstone signal, the complexities of the system will be such as, here we go, hold on, button finally comes in handy. There we go. And in that way, when a signal comes out, it will flip and it'll feed the dog, but it will only feed the dog once every 10 minutes, and it'll feed the chickens twice every 10 minutes. Now, I'll just wire everything up. There we go. Yes, okay, this is good. This is good. Now, I believe that will work. I'm fully in belief that this will, in fact, work. Yep, I totally do believe that that is a good amount of work that I have done. There we go. Redstone is amazing. How are my pals looking in there? Oh, they got plenty of pals. Plenty of pals. Still we go. This is my timer. Shoots it out. 5 minutes. It decays. So once every 5 minutes, that thing will flip the T flip-flop back and forth. So it'll take 2 flips to feed the dogs once, or the dog once. But then it will shoot 2 pulses out to the chickens every 5 minutes. So now we're good. Now let's get to the point where we can, oh, how much food does the dog have? Oh, he's got plenty. We gotta make sure that he doesn't turn white, otherwise we're gonna have to shorten that pulse somehow. Now, that entrance has to be fixed. We're gonna leave it like that for today. I don't think anything is gonna get in, and if it does, I'll kill it. Alright, so a little bit of discovery. I mean, I've been playing this mod for, God, years. And you always find little things like this that Flower Child put into it. And god damn it, I hate that motherfucker so much, but he's a goddamn brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. Okay, look. The door now works. Now, why didn't it work before, right? Yeah, why didn't it work before, right? Because I had me a freaking door, right? So why does that door work, but this one doesn't, right? This one opens fine, but the button doesn't work. Now why? I'll tell you why. Because the crafting recipe for this is just freaking wood door. The button is a molding and a piece of redstone. Gives me a button, right? I slap it on the wall. When I press the button, the redstone fires. There's no redstone on the wooden door, but on the metal door, metal, 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 and then the hinges are redstone. So that doesn't work. But this does. That is just brilliant. It's one of those things that vanilla Minecraft just doesn't have the balls to do, but he does. And yeah, I fucking hate you, Flower Child. You're a goddamn horrible human being. And you know what? You don't appreciate your fucking fans for anything. But God, you don't fucking have to because you're so fucking brilliant. And that makes me hate you even more because now you don't need me to validate you by liking you. And that pisses me off. So just, I hope you forever keep doing what you're doing, and I hope you continue to take pride in your work because you are a fucking brilliant man. Minecraft would have been a 6 months, maybe 6 months distraction for me. Me and my wife, we run a server. We have fun with our server, and we take pride in our server. But it's not a lifestyle. I'm telling you what, when I'm working, and I'm working my butt off in the warehouse, and it's a long night, and it's gonna be a very long day, and I come home, I've got one thing in mind: making myself a cup of coffee, sitting down and relaxing, and playing some Better Than Wolves. And it's all because a dude decided to stick with this coding when everybody else was telling him that he was crazy. So, yeah, I hate that motherfucker, and I fucking love his work so much. He is just, if I had a peanut, I would give it to him. So, yeah, so now now this is just a temp door right here. I didn't want to have the door be open for everything to get in, so. And look what we're going to be building out of. Stone bricks. Now, I'm going to make changes to the outside so that it's not. Oh wow, look at that. Yep. After the sun comes back up, we're gonna jump out there and we're gonna feed the animals, and we're going to get some meat from them, and then we're gonna continue to make these wonderful dishes that we can prepare, because we are going to be going exploring after we build our mob trap. After we build the mob trap, it's totally on. So I'm listening to a podcast right now. It's an interview of Quentin Tarantino, and so you guys just hang tight while we're waiting for the sun to come up, and I hope you guys enjoy the work that I'm doing in silence. So, ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Alright, folks. And here we find ourselves still playing. And for those of you that are sticking around, thank you very much. Sorry. Okay, folks, and we find ourselves still here, still playing. Um, as a review of what we have done, we have been amazed at the amount of eggs that we have created. Always a good thing. I think we've got those seeds coming down exactly at the rate we want. Hoping for some baby chickens. Come on, come on. Papa needs a new pair of beaks. Well, that was anticlimactic. I got 3 chickens off of that. That's crap. Now, this looks like it's working really good. I am getting it looks like he's getting saturated with food. So that's kind of good. I mean, like, definitely putting less food into this, right now, but he's made enough dung that we're not going to need any more dung for any amount of time. And all this mechanisms up here, they're fantastic, working great. Could not be happier with what we've been doing. Oh, let's go harvest the mushrooms while we're waiting for the sun to come out. Yeah? We're about to set up a automatic killer for the cow farm. It's going to be really easy. Matter of fact, I might end up doing it below ground. I'm not sure. Should I do it below ground? No, not doing it below ground. Okay, check it out. I hear bad guys. Oh my god, look at all these mushrooms. Fantastic. Let's harvest. This is great. This is a very, very good yield here. Alright, we're obviously making way more food than we need. So when we decide that we want to go exploring, we're not going to have to wait for any kind of food production. We've already got a massive, massive amount of food. Oh, this needs to be... Oh, might have exasperated the yield here. We need to have this open for the possibility of mushrooms spawning up there. Yes. Not a big deal. Still a good yield. This is a very good mushroom farm design, I must say. This is a standard design from the Better Than Wolves forum. Seems to be the best way to harvest mushrooms in vanilla Minecraft up until at least 1.5.2. So, yeah, I mean, you can't ask for much more. I mean, you could, but why? Now, could get rid of that. Don't even need it. And I think we need to close. Oh, this is where I came from. Okay. Yep. Okay. And we turn out the lights and we leave. Goodbye, mushroom farm. Hey, wait a minute. Is there a light glitch up here? It's not gonna bother the mushroom spawning rate. And we're gonna make a door for this sometime soon. Look at that. We got a full stack. That's not bad. Now, cows. I think I'm gonna do it above ground. I mean, heck, I've got plenty of room over here. Okay. This is why it is so important that we had to get that blaze rod, because now we're going to be manipulating our environment quite a bit. And because of that, we don't want to have to stop and think about which tool to use or anything like that. We're now at a point where we can just make whatever we want to make. Now, we're going to be making an expandable expandable breeder. Now these breeders are going to be, they're not going to be big pens for these animals because we want them to be more or less inescapable, so to speak. We're going to make all three of them at the same time, but we're only going to have the materials to include the cow at the beginning. Now I need 2 block dispensers. Just dispensers. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cook these eggs just to get them out of my inventory, and I'm going to put up the mushrooms. And now, you see, now we have enough mushrooms for another thing. I mean, look at this. Look at that food. We are good on food. That's a very good feeling and better than wolves. To have established yourself as a sustainable entity. Now, the water for this thing is going to come from, it can come from anywhere really. We'll bring it from over there. And, okay, so that's going to be the cows. That's going to be for the pigs. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay, so I kind of screwed up here. So I want to have 5 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's going to be a bit bigger than I thought, but that's okay. And this is as big as we're going to make it, and it's going to be above ground for the most part. But we are going to have... You know what? I'm not going to worry about making it a ceiling of anything other than just dirt. Now we're going to keep the animals separate. As a matter of fact, the cows need more of a separation. Now the pigs and the sheep, they don't need that separation. And it's because the cows, they tend to buck and try to kill and everything. So we don't want to have that happen. Now, I need to get some more cobblestone. Just cobble will do. That'll be enough. And I'll get some smooth stone just in case. Oh, and glass. I'm gonna need glass too. Oh boy, do I have glass? I'm gonna need some glass. I have to make some glass. Isn't it amazing how easy it is to make glass now? We just throw it in here, flip the lever, and it starts making glass. Grab some sandwiches so I don't have to spend so much food to completely fill my gullet. Now, the idea here is that it's going to be, let's see, I get crazy every single time I put down a block. So I don't want to be placing blocks and cause death to happen to my animals unwantedly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, these animals, they need to be taken care of. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, one more. I need to expand it one more because of that barrier that the cows need. Alright, look at that. There could be my water source. Now, I want to be getting the meat from it. This is going to be the problem, is getting to the meat. The kill trap for this thing, going to be, each one of the animals are going to be able to jump up and get into the kill trap, which is going to be here. Now, there's only going to be one place for them. Well, you know what? We'll make it so that they have 2 places. to jump over. Matter of fact, it's gonna work better if I just do this. Here we go. Whoopsie. Alright, here, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's just gonna be a one step up little area. Obviously gonna have to make that out of cobblestone too now that it's gonna be the bottom part of it. And you know what, let's build it with some fucking class. So we're gonna use smooth stone for that. I want it to look kinda badass. Now, the mechanics involved in this are going to be very dead simple. It's going to be relying on some changes to animals and their abilities that Better Than Wolves provides. First of all, baby animals can no longer jump. Okay, and second of all, since baby animals can't jump, that means you can sort live and grown animals from the baby animals, and you do that by giving them somewhere they can't jump out of. Now, the grown-up animals are going to be on this side right here, and they're going to be prodded over here. Gonna make it so that they, okay, one. You know what? The most effective that I can make this for the cows is going to be okay, now what's going to happen here is the big cows are going to be in these little holes here, right? I'm going to have glass shoring them up. The glass is going to be right here. Then I'm going to have block dispensers. Yeah, not block dispensers, but just dispenser blocks. They're going to be on either side, right here. Right here. And yeah, no, I gotta replace that. Don't tell me something I already know. And right here. There we go. Now, gonna have to dig out. Now the baby animals are gonna breed, and they will appear right here and fall like that, and they'll be down. They won't be able to get back up. So then they holler around here and do their thing and blah 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 blah. And before you know it, they grow up, and then they jump up here. Then once they jump up here, they grow stupid, and they realize that they can get down into the bottoms. And once they get down into the bottoms, there's going to be a water trap that completely and irreversibly grounds them into things that I can shovel into my mouth and eat. The only downside to this whole method is the unfortunate fact that you can't shit out the animals after you eat them. Alright, there goes my, what do you call it, with the stuffs? going to take some melatonin to try to get to sleep. Now, melatonin is supposed to be the kind of thing where you only have to take one, and so I'm only taking one. I've had sleeplessness here lately. Alright, so folks, I've been thinking a lot about what I'm gonna do to narrate this sucker. I mean, you guys here, you guys are seeing me play and all that crap, and I mean, every time I start to think that nobody's watching, and I don't expect anybody to watch, I really don't. The thing is, every time I start to think that nobody's going to be watching, somebody messages me and lets me know they're watching. And so it kind of makes me feel good about things, and I'm very happy and I'm thankful that you guys are watching. So that makes me want to do better by you guys. And so I've been thinking about what to talk about narrating. And this might be a death blow for this thing, or it might turn it into something a little bit cooler for you guys. I tend to be the kind of person that doesn't really see the need in talking unless I have something to say, and therefore I mute myself a lot. The thing is, knowledge is amazing, and you guys are interested in seeing this game being played, and that's great, because this, honestly, a lot of people that I've had watching me have been kind of perplexed at the whole idea that they don't understand that this isn't vanilla Minecraft. And, you know, it's the kind of thing that you just don't... Ooh, this could be... No! Oh my god, this would be great. Oh my god, look. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Oh, heck yeah. Alright, now, or better yet, maybe there's a better way to do that. Anyway, my feelings on this thing, this matter, is that I'm not a scientific badass or anything, and I don't know everything, but I know some stuff, and I feel like I could spread some knowledge, and so I am going to talk a little bit about the kind of things that I'm passionate about. And forgive me, for everybody, if it is boring, and I apologize if it is. But I feel like I could, you know, I could do something to help somebody out. And so today, I am going to talk to you guys about how scientists think that life began on the planet. And the reason that I want to talk about it is because I work at a distribution center, and that kind of means that I don't get a chance to talk about the kinds of things that really interest me very often. And because of that, and because I feel kind of passionately about things, what's the harm in me going ahead and talking about this kind of stuff, right? So, without further ado, scientists agree that the universe, if the trends that we see in the sky today continued on backwards in time, that the universe was formed roughly 14.7 billion years ago. And they figure this because the expansion of the universe, well, we can tell that the universe is apparently expanding. What we see in the sky is a whole bunch of stars that are just moving away from each other. We know it's moving away from each other because of a thing called redshift. Redshift is a property of light that and of matter, that if something is traveling away from you at a certain speed, usually at the speed of light or near the speed of light, and I could be misspeaking, it could be at very low speeds, that it will shift to red. Like the red of the spectrum will be left behind because of the separation of the spectrum. Uh, Light, white light, or pure light, is composed of a spectrum from red to ultraviolet, or whatever. Anyway, um, scientists can see if something's moving toward us or away from us by its shift. If it's moving toward us, then they can tell that it's blue, and if it's moving away, then it seems red. That's a very oversimplification of things, but most every single star in the sky seems red. And the reason for that is because everything is expanding, and not only is expanding out from a central point, but the space in between of everything is expanding too. Now, I've never been able to understand that because, in my opinion, and with me not having the spatial reasoning and the advanced mathematics abilities that some of these astrophysicists have, it seems to me that, like, if everything was expanding out, and if it was expanding at the same rate, which I don't know if it is, then how would you ever know that anything was expanding? Because not only are you expanding, but the space in between your molecules is expanding too. Therefore, you're getting bigger at the same rate as the room around you is getting bigger. Therefore, relatively, no size is actually changing. Well, scientists have figured this out way more than I can, and because of their ability to figure this out, they can tell, based on the redshift of planets and galaxies and all that shit, they can tell how far away it is. And so what they see is what is up there, and everything is moving away at a certain speed. They know by the distance that it is at, they can tell that the universe is roughly 7.3 billion years to the farthest stars that we can see, and 17.3 billion years moving at the speed of light toward the other side. So 17.3 equals 14.7 billion years, and that could probably also be an oversimplification, but whatever. That's what we're sticking with. That's what we're running with. So this is a constant that we know. These sizes of these constructs, we know 14.7 billion years from one side to the other. Now, because of that, if you were to take the speed that it is expanding and retroactively apply it back through the millennia, you would realize that every single thing in existence would have been crunched into a single mass 14.7 billion years ago. And they call this the Big Bang, and they call it the Big Bang, again, to oversimplify it. It's not a bang. It wasn't like a boom, because for one thing, you need sound to make a boom. Otherwise it's just an empty, like, expansion. Like if you were to set off a nuclear bomb in space, you wouldn't hear a damn thing unless you were caught in the ripple of the tide. That whatever. Anyway, the thing that is amazing about all this is what we do know about it. And here's the crazy part. The 14.7 billion years is how long ago, if the universe is expanding at a constant rate. And again, I will say, we don't know if it's expanding at a constant rate. We're kind of taking that in stride that we believe it is. I personally believe it is. I don't see how it could not be. But whatever, 14.7 billion years ago, for whatever reason, the universe just started expanding, right? And at the time that the universe started expanding, it was sort of a cooling was going on. If you were to imagine what happened during those first moments, by say the way that we would call it now, you wouldn't say Big Bang. You would basically say the rapid expansion or the rapid cooling. That would be a more scientifically accurate way of stating this. It gets to a point with this expansion that it's almost useless to think about it in terms of of it being an expansion. What you need to do is think about it in reverse, and by that I mean think about it as if it is a think about it as if you're looking at it in reverse. You know, you are basically watching the universe expand and cool. Now, as everything crunches down into nothingness, as you think about it in reverse, you start to realize one thing, that as mass gets more and more compressed, you know, because we're thinking about this whole Big Bang rapid expansion in reverse now, right? Once that happens, you start to realize that, in fact, the heat from the expansion of the universe is becoming so great that you really cannot have matter. Everything starts to become synthesized into energy, and this energy, simply put, is, oh my god, it's indescribable, incalculable. You really could not hope to describe the intense pressures that were going on. The pressures that the matter of the universe was under at this point would be sort of like being at the center of the Earth if the Earth was the size of all creation. Now think about how dense our planet is. And just our planet, just this orb of rock that we're on, which is, you know what, let's see, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus. It's the 5th largest planet in our solar system. I mean, that's tiny, right? I mean, it is only bigger. It's middle of the road. I never really thought about that, unless I'm miscounting here. Okay, Pluto's no longer a planet, even though we should be counting it as something. Let's see, we've got Venus, Mercury, and Mars, and then Earth. Okay, and okay, well, it's bigger than more than half, so we could give it a break on that. Okay, I can live with that. Now, here's the problem you run into. When you get down into Earth, about, say, a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, 4 miles, you start to get to a constant temperature that is no longer affected by, say, the gravitational pull of the sun or anything like that. It becomes a gravitational constant. And what I mean by that gravitational constant, my friends, is that it's the friction of the Earth. It's the friction of the matter hitting the other matter in the Earth that makes it be this temperature. In other words, like if you take, say, um, if you take a piece of ice and you suspend a string through it, and you push down on the spring, you create pressure, and that pressure creates heat, which raises the temperature of the ice above its melting point, and it actually melts the ice through, which is a fancy way of saying that you can make ice melt just by touching it really, really hard. So, okay, so if that's the case, think about it like this. You can now make ice melt just by touching it. The Earth makes rock melt just by being there. And that sounds ridiculously, like, that sounds cheesy, but that's the case. The farther you go down, the Earth gets hotter and hotter and hotter. And it gets to a point where heavy metals are forming, like gold and diamonds, and you know, there are people that know way more about how minerals are made than I, and I will attest to you that I'm probably misspeaking, but also keep in mind that you're watching this on Twitch, so you know, I'm not selling this information here, but regardless of that fact, we are talking about pressures that are so great that different metals and different types of matter are forming than you're used to. Now, there are certain types of matter that can form here, and then there are types of matter that can't form. There are gases that cannot form in the heat of the Earth. It becomes a different type of gas, or it undergoes a different synthesis or whatnot. Oh, look at this. We've got our choice. There's water over here too. Dude, this is okay. What side do we want our water on? It would be easier to check it if it was over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put all this up. We are going to make it so that this whole thing here is gonna be powering the saw, the kill trap. Now I'm waiting for those cows to grow up, the ones that I put in that little pen. And that's why we're doing what we're doing here. You know, we're just trying to, right now we're building the channel that they're going to die in. I call it Death Channel. So anyway, Death Channel will be complete soon. And now, when we're talking about different elements being able to form at the center of the Earth, as opposed to at the top of the Earth, those are different states of matter. And there's a state of matter that is composing most of the matter in the universe, and it doesn't happen on the surface of the planet unless there are just perfect conditions. And that's plasma, buddy. Plasma only happens once in a blue moon, and it's a fleeting thing on Earth. Like I think lightning bolts can be considered plasma. It might even just be, I don't know. But I know ball lightning is definitely plasma, and that only happens for like a split second, or at the most a couple seconds. So plasma is, at its basic form, plasma is a stasis between matter and energy. You might remember from science class that you can transform matter into energy and energy into matter, but you can't destroy either one of them. You can make matter go away and phase through objects. You can make it go here, go there, and all that stuff, but you cannot destroy that energy. That energy has to go somewhere. And that's one of the great mysteries of this universe, is that, yeah, okay, so what is matter and what is energy? We really do not know, and scientists are struggling with that fact, and they'll be the first ones to tell you, okay, well, we know that matter and energy, you know, it's pressure and heat and, you know, friction and, you know, bonds between electrons and photons breaking and all that crap. But I mean, like, you know, that's basicing everything, right? That's like calling it paint shop when you're working with Photoshop. So, okay. There's that much possibility of matter being at different states just from the matter being at the center of the Earth. Now imagine what it would be like if you were at the center of, say, one of the big planets like Saturn or Jupiter. Hell, look at the sun. On the surface of the sun, things are hotter than the core of the Earth. Actually, I think it might be about the same. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't want to misspeak unless I absolutely don't know the information. But regardless of all that, oh, you know what? I just realized I might have actually made a mistake, and I don't want that mistake to continue. I gotta make it so that enemies cannot get up here, no matter what. So, anyway, that being said, imagine all of the matter in the entire universe. Every star, every sun, every bit of plasma, every nebula, every gigantic cloud of methane or propane in the universe, every planet, every asteroid, every comet, every star, every galaxy, every supercluster of galaxies, every quasar, every everything compressed into one ball. Now, scientists, in their quest to understand the universe, I have read somewhere that they said that the universe was vaguely the size of a mustard seed. I don't know what math went into that dictation. I can be the first to tell you that it sounds kind of fishy that they would be able to figure something out like that. I'm not going to say they didn't, but it sounds kind of fishy. Regardless of that fact, whatever size that thing was, the density and the pressure and the state of matter, it would have been inconceivable. We have no test that we could possibly run to tell what that would have been. We cannot recreate those situations. We can't build a particle accelerator big enough to simulate what happened at the beginning of the universe. Unfortunately, it just isn't going to happen. But what we can do, we can make our best guesses. Right now, the best guess is that the universe started expanding at a certain rate, and they can actually figure from the observable universe and how fast that pressure would have been going, and the expansion of the universe, and all of the everythings that go into it. They can pretty much tell how fast everything was moving at that time, and I'll buy that. And what they figure is that in the first like 3 or 4 seconds of creation, the universe just expanded out like exponentially, like fast, like crazy fast, and that everything started cooling, but there was no matter whatsoever, none. And there wasn't any matter for a long time, and I don't know how long. And as the matter continued to diffuse, everything would have been a uniform pattern. Everything would have, like, if you take a object of a density and, like, this thing would have not have been a ball of matter the size of a mustard seed. It would have been a ball of energy, a spark of energy the size of whatever the hell it was, but it would have had to have been a uniform amount of density. Otherwise, it would have already blown apart. And the most logical reason that the Big Bang had happened was a difference in pressure. And that difference in pressure led to everything expanding out. Now, the reason that we say that the most logical culprit for the Big Bang happening is a change in pressure within the sphere of energy is that if there was not a difference in pressure at some point, there would not be any matter at all. As everything expanded out, gravity started taking hold. Interesting thing. We don't know what gravity is. We've attached it to a particle called a gluon that we think we've discovered in the Large Hadron Collider. Good science? Maybe. It's not old enough science for me to really apply yet, and I'm pretty sure somebody's applied it. Whatever. As the universe continued to expand, certain particles began to be drawn to each other. And keep in mind that these particles didn't exist in a molecular or material form at all until everything got far enough away from itself that the pressures and the cooling were substantial enough for bonds to start to happen to molecules. Now, first, the matter would have had to transform from energy into matter. And it would have had to transform from energy into whatever particle it was going to be, whether you think it was programmed by God or whether it was just a happenstance or whatever. It would have had to have just formed into that matter. And then at some point, different types of matter started to link up. It started to attach to each other. And then because those two particles exerted a little bit more pressure than everything else around it, other things started to attach to it. And this is happening all over in a non-uniform pattern. Again, this is evidence that there was a change in pressure somewhere along the line. So this uneven, ununiform distribution of energy turning into mass and then forming bonds to each other on a molecular level started to lead to the first elements being born. And I don't want to misstep, so I don't want to say whether it was heavy metals like gold or diamonds or anything like that. I don't know, but at some point, these very basic atoms and everything started to link together to make even more complex atoms. And then you started to get phases of matter like gas and whatnot. I think gas could have been the first thing, I don't know. But anyway, as these clouds of gas started to rotate around, it started to form kind of a soup. And this soup became like protoplanetary disks. The protoplanetary disks became balls of gases and matter, and these balls of gas started to condense down more and more and more until they started to form planets of all types. Planets of all types, shapes, sizes. Well, I mean, most of them were round, I will give you that. But as these things continued to spin and move and all that, and everything kept expanding, everything started cooling even more. And all the geological processes started to happen on Earth. Geological processes were needed because a thing called plate tectonics, which I'm not going to get into right now. Basically, it looks to be that life did not exist on Earth until probably over half of the way, maybe even 3/4 of the way from the beginning of life in the universe until now. So we're not too excited about this yet. This is not the universe that we know of yet. We're still waiting on the universe. It gets to a point that the rapid expansion of the universe and the cooling allows for molecules on Earth to get to a stable enough amount that carbon started to form with other molecules and atoms. Now, carbon is important. Carbon is what everything is made of. But more importantly, carbon has a very unique structure. It's a hexagonal structure. It will fit into anything. And because it'll fit into anything, and that is not optimal. Okay, we'll close that up. Okay, what do we need? Ooh, that's actually useful. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so that 1, 2. Okay. I want to make it so that this is not working out the way I wanted it to because I'm having trouble visualizing what I'm supposed to be doing. Basically, molecules started to form together more and more and more. And as these molecules continued to form together, they started to make, along with carbon in the atmosphere and on the planet, started to make possible things that were formed by the most amazing of situations, organic compounds. Now, organic compounds are not life. They are what life is made of, and they will be life someday. But it's not complex, and there's no repeating pattern to them. They don't do anything special. They just exist. And these molecules, they start to become what we call in science long chain molecules. Oh, I don't like this. Okay, we need to make. Okay. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make 1, 2. There we go. That'll work. So we're gonna get rid of this. Now, we're gonna get rid of. Okay, look. What we gotta do is we gotta make sure that saw blade is gonna be far enough upstream from the kill trap that it will kill everything, and therefore it needs to be. No, nope, 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 nope. Doesn't need to be right there. Nope. It needs to be right there. That'll kill him. Now, actually, you know what? It needs to be right here. And the reason I have to have it on this thing is because pigs are notorious for fitting underneath kill traps. Not good for pigs. So now I want to have the ability to add on to this later. So there we go. Now these long chain molecules, they had a real problem. The long chain molecules couldn't replicate themselves. So it didn't matter how many times they were born or were formed or anything. They didn't last. It doesn't matter if you are the most amazing molecule in the world that can think for itself. It doesn't pass along the information. It's not going to survive. And because of that fact, it took life an amazing amount of time to form. Because nothing was being saved. And it wasn't until something happened by accident. And this is my theory, okay? This is not science per se. I mean, like, I'm sure there are scientists who agree with me. And I'm sure there are people busting down the doors right now saying, no, 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 Karnak Sam, you're wrong, 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 wrong. And that's fine, I don't mind. But my theory is that along the line somewhere there was one molecule that was able to do what no other molecule could. And that is, this molecule was able to save a copy of itself. And when it saved a copy of itself, circumvented all of the time that it would take it to form over and over and over again. It didn't have to form anymore. It had formed. So this thing could basically pass along itself. It could clone itself. We could think of it in terms of cloning. It might not be useful to do so, but that's how we're going to look at it. Now, cloning will only get you so far, because with cloning, every change to that molecule has to be done so by accident. Every once in a while, a molecule will be, copying itself, and it'll make a little mistake, accident, it'll happen, right? And so, every once in a while, something bad will happen, and you won't be able to make a copy of yourself. You'll accidentally make something better. And thusly, the evolutionary process had begun. Now, you may turn off my podcast and say that evolution didn't happen. Maybe you're somebody that believes in God. Maybe you're somebody that believes something else. Who knows, right? But you may say, I'll be damned if I'm going to listen to this son of a bitch talk about how God doesn't exist. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that something really special started happening around this time. And that is that these little changes that were taking so long to happen, they started to do something. The ones that didn't work out died really quick. The things that were being created, they were stable enough to actually stay around. But these unstable molecules, basically the ones that were created and then went away, well, they were created and they went away. That was just it. That's just how it was. And so the things that worked, they worked good, and they were beneficial to the molecule. Now, there is no thinking going on here at all. None. Like, the thinking process has not begun yet. But what is happening is a gradual increase in the complexity of the information that's being encoded to these molecules. These molecules are passing along information now. Now, the information can be flawed sometimes, and sometimes it's not going to be useful at all. But the information is being passed, and that's the important thing. As this information continues to be passed along, somewhere along the line again, something even more miraculous happens. Somehow or another, a long-chain molecule forms that is able to share its information with another molecule. These two molecules are able to create a half and half clone of itself, and the greatest invention of all has now been created. Sex has now happened. Now, you may say that, sliced bread has a long history of being the greatest thing ever. I mean, we always compare everything to sliced bread, right? But think about this. If you're passing along information and you're passing along perfect clones of yourself, you are never going to learn anything. But as soon as you start sharing half of your encoded molecule with another molecule, you can start to change at an exponential rate. Now, these changes that were happening, they were all over the place. Some of them just died right as soon as they were made. It's like, these two things were not meant to be together. Some of them were not like peanut butter and jelly. Some things were like motor oil and glue. It's just like, boom, it ended. But every once in a while, peanut butter and jelly would happen. Every time that happened, that information was passed along. And because it was already encoded with the ability to replicate itself with half of another one's DNA, that was already passed. And so this gradual move into ever more complex molecules was off to a very good start. Now, scientists figure that these original organic molecules, the most basic ones that started forming together, they were short molecules. They were very short. And they figure that you can actually make them in a laboratory by taking a pool of like hydrogen and carbon and like water and all that shit, and you just start zapping it with electricity, and eventually that's going to bond these things together. And that's exactly the atmosphere that was on Earth at that time. So that holds water, that holds everything. And then somewhere along the line, these ever increasingly complex molecules that are getting to the point where they are virtually everywhere, they start to hold on a second. They started to branch out. And as they branched out, these molecules started to get longer and longer and longer. And they started to become RNA. And they became DNA. When they became DNA, they started to form protein shells around them. And they started to have a medium around them that protected them, and all these little changes and everything, they were just accidental. But as everything started to form around, you started to see the beginnings of the cell. Somewhere along the line, there was an invader, this thing that invaded the cell like it was gonna eat it. But once it got inside, it was producing some kind of waste that the cell was using for a type of food. And the cell's waste was providing it with everything it needed. So these two molecules formed a bond that was so beneficial to each other that the bigger one never expelled the other one. And there you get the nucleus of the cell. Now, as things continue to evolve, you started to get multicellular life forms. And when you started to get that, things really got off to a quick start. Multicellular life forms, they started to change at such a rate that we can't keep up with it in the fossil record. It looks so sudden that it looks like it was nothing at all, and then there was stuff. And we can see like fossil evidence of algae blooms and stuff like that. And so we know that it was a gradual start. But man, once life started, it took off. It never looked back. Now, you may ask, why have I been talking about all this? Well, people are always trying to talk about what the meaning of life is. And they talk about it as if it's a profound thing, that if we figured out what the meaning of life is, that somehow or another we'd be better people. I am here to tell you the meaning of life. I figured it out. And it was kind of a brain fuck. Now, whether you believe in evolution or the Bible, whether you believe in whatever. I will tell you this. The reason that you are on this planet is the same reason that those first cells began to divide. And the reason that the first long-chain molecules started to form. And the reason that they duplicated themselves. This universe is just a bunch of energy that has transformed into matter for some reason. And that matter is growing more and more complex. And the information that is being encoded in it, far more complex. And now we have the internet, and binary information, and technology, books, language. We're put on this earth by whatever construct you want to believe in. We are put on this earth to spread information, to pass that information on, to make it more complex, and to pass it on. If you are to look at the universe as an evolution of one thing to the next, it seems pretty obvious to me at this point that we are either meant to pass along ourselves in a much more complex state, or we are made to make robots, which will become the most dominant life form. It's kooky, it's weird. It's a comforting thought though, you know? There is a reason to be here. It's not what we would want it to be, but whatever is. So anyway, I've done my preaching for the day, and I hope you guys and gals got something out of it that's useful. And I think that might be the longest that I've ever spoken on this entire thing. So it was all ramble, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. But as for me, I'm about to check out and go to sleep because I think the melatonin worked. And I'm going to wind down, go to work, and then get back on here in about 18 to 22 more hours. And we're going to do this whole thing again. And when I come back, we are going to finish that breeder, and we're going to get all of our animals, except for chickens, automated from the birth to the kill. This has been Karnak Sim, signing off.